One, I think that's foolish as hell for anybody, just let alone women, but in general. Meeting a person that you've just met online in person, you meet them at their house. Hello, family. Welcome to Wicked Thinkers, where we take letters and articles from around the internet and provide analysis and breakdown, as well as help the best we can. I'm your host, your favorite cousin, and your favorite neighborhood storyteller, Tim Bob. Here's today's episode. Hello, family. Hello, family. Hello, family. It's your favorite neighborhood storyteller, Tim Bob here, and here's today's letter. Why did he discard me so easily? Why did he discard me so easily? I met a guy online and we hit it off immediately. He was 20 years younger than I am, but since I wasn't looking for a serious relationship and I am quite open-minded, this didn't bother me. He also confessed that he was very much into older women. We chatted for 3 weeks and he seemed smart, funny, and, judging by how much time he spent online with me and by the things he said, very attracted to me. He previously was in a 6-year relationship which ended a year ago, and since then in a 6-month relationship with a married woman of my age. He was very persistent and insisted that we meet at his place. I refused at first, asking that the first meeting be in a public place. However, I ended up giving in and I did meet him at his place. There were no sparks. I didn't feel anything for him, but somehow things evolved into something physical. We did not go all the way, but what we did do felt good. I was hoping that we could have a situationship, as neither one of us was looking for something serious. He kept saying that he knew things were going to work out between us, that he's never wrong, and that I looked as great or better than I did in my profile picture, and he was sure we would meet again. After I left his place, he texted to thank me for an amazing evening. The next morning, he texted me again to ask how I was, but when I asked how he was, he never replied. I waited for a day and then asked him what was wrong. He said he was sorry, but he still had feelings for his ex and we should leave things alone. The messages were long but came very quickly, like he was copy-pasting them or something. I told him that there was never any intention on my part to have a proper relationship and that I didn't feel anything either, but that I thought we could have a great physical relationship. I ended my messages by saying I hoped we would never meet again. The thing is, I was terribly hurt and confused because he went from charming and persistent to acting like an inconsiderate jerk. I found his excuse about still having feelings for his ex lame and insulting to my intelligence. When I asked what was wrong, I was expecting something like, I didn't like your body, because I do have 20 pounds extra, and why else would a guy in his right mind refuse a non-committal, discreet, strictly sexual relationship? Isn't this what someone who has gotten over an ex would be interested in? I cried for about 2 days because I felt I'd been treated like an object, lied to, manipulated, and then discarded so easily. It's my ego and my value as a human being that is bruised, not my feelings, as there were none, but I'm still having such a hard time understanding what was on this man's mind. Please help. First thing that comes to my mind when I think of this is catfish. That's what I think about when I read this letter. It's catfish. The reason why I say that, well, let's go down the list of things. All right. First, you ignore all the red flags. He's smart, witty, and charming on the internet. Of course he is, because everybody, like I say all the time, everybody wears a mask, especially online, until he gets what he needs to get up out of you, which is getting that booty. Now, with you saying, oh, he's smart, witty, and all this other stuff, you talked to him online for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It wasn't like 2 years, a year, nothing like that. It was 3 weeks before you actually met up with the guy. Now, you had a great idea by meeting at a public place, but somehow, in some way, some shape, some form, he convinces you to come to his place. One, I think that's foolish as hell for anybody, just let alone women, but in general. Meeting a person that you've just met online in person, you meet them at their house. You went to his place. He didn't come to your place.
You went to his place. You already mentioned that you didn't want nothing serious. You were trying to be open-minded, whatever that's supposed to lead down. Y'all meet up, and there was no sparks. He didn't see nothing for you. You didn't see nothing for him. What led to the no sparks? Because on the internet, you were super into him. He's complimenting me. He's doing this. He's saying that. He's saying all the right things. He's so into me. As much time as he spends online, which means he probably ain't got no damn job. Because if he's always online, he's got all this time to give you online. Either he works from home or he's got nothing going on. Which makes me think that you probably got nothing going on either. You probably work at home too. I don't know. But if y'all are spending all this time online, somebody ain't doing something. Another thing about that. You meet up at his house with him and you say, we don't have sex. We don't go all the way. But what we did felt good. So either he did something to you or you did something to him. Y'all did something to each other, but y'all didn't actually have actual intercourse. Okay. No sparks to leading to doing something sexual. All right. I'm going to get to the catfish part in a minute, but let's travel over something else here. At the end of the letter, it says you felt like he was an inconsiderate jerk. What did he do that made you think he was an inconsiderate jerk? He complimented you and gave you a bunch of compliments and all this other stuff while y'all were talking online. That's not inconsiderate. That's him flattering you. You get to his house. He tells you that he knows things are going to work out between you two. He feels things are going to work out between you two. He knows it basically in his bones that y'all two are going to make it. He's never wrong about that. You're as pretty as you are in your pictures. Even prettier. Let's just say he was lying. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say he was lying about that. He still took your feelings into consideration by lying to you. Whether he told you, what did you want him to do? Like, if he didn't like your body or whatever, what did you want him to do? What would you want him to do? Would you want him to say, oh, you're fat, and then close the door on you? No. So he lets you in, talks to you. Y'all still do something sexual in some way. And then he's, after that happens, after he compliments you still, he contacts you the next day. He contacted you the next day and asked, how are you doing? Now, when you asked, you said you were fine and you asked him how he was doing, he didn't reply. I'm still waiting for the inconsiderate jerk part. He didn't throw you out. You left on your own. He didn't turn you away at the door. He invited you in. Y'all did something. Both before, during, and after, he complimented you. Then on top of that, he still checked on you to make sure you were good the very next day. Where's the inconsiderate jerk part? I'm still waiting for that part. Now, we'll skip to the catfish part. I feel, and this might be a little on the controversial or rude side to say, because you're the one writing the letter, but it seems like you catfished him in some small way. When you got to his house, you said there was no sparks. Either his face said something or your face said something and said, this ain't going to make it. Even though he reassured you that everything's going to be okay between the two of you. And he still likes you. He says, I think you look just as good, if not better, than your picture. Meaning you weren't living up to your end of the bargain with that picture you sent. And here's the thing. Let me get this out of the way as clear as I can. Anybody that knows Tim Bob, you know your cousin. You know your cousin. Family, you know your cousin. I adore big girls. I adore them. Love them to death. Love them to death. And as somebody who's dated basically all big girls his entire life, I can say with pretty much certainty that most of your pictures, I'm not saying that they are, but I'm pretty sure I can say that most of your pictures are neck up, no full body shot. Or it's either side of your face or your hair covering your face or something like that. And the reason why I say this is because that's just most large set women, not saying all, but a good amount will take that kind of picture, whether it be self-conscious or whether they're just whatever. You admitted at the end of the letter that you had gained 20 pounds. To me, that's not a lot. Some people can show it more than others. To me, it is not a lot. But I'm pretty sure that within that 3 weeks time span that y'all were talking, you didn't gain that 20 pounds. I'm willing to bet that you on your profile is an old pic from back in the day when you were a little slimmer. And when he saw you, and he still complimented you anyway, you still look as good as you do in your pictures. Matter of fact, you look better. You knew you had gained extra weight, but you figured, okay, this is what it is. You reach out to him. He doesn't contact you back. When he does respond to you, he tells you that he's still in love with his ex and that he's sorry about everything else and everything else. Even if that's a lie, where's the inconsiderate jerk part? He still gave you an explanation. You might not like the explanation. You might not enjoy that explanation at all. That might not fly with you whatsoever. At the end of the letter, you even said that doesn't fly with you. But still, he gave you an explanation. He told you, listen, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm still chasing my ex, whatever. Okay. You say that your feelings weren't hurt. Your pride was hurt. I beg to differ. I think your feelings were involved in that. This man wowed you. He told you what he needed to tell you to get you to his place. Things didn't pan out maybe the way that y'all wanted to. You openly admitted that you wanted to have exclusively sexual relationship. You said, I want to have a sexual relationship. And he said, nah, I'm still into my ex. Okay. Now we get to the interesting part of that part, which was your feelings aren't hurt, but you cried for 2 days. How would you cry for 2 days if your feelings weren't hurt? That's feelings. That's feelings. If your pride's hurt, men and women get rejected every day. You shoot your shot and it gets rejected. You feel bummed out, but then you pick yourself up and move on. You cry for 2 whole days. You can't tell me that was just, my pride was hurt, not my feelings. Your feelings was invested in that. For 2 days you cried? For 2 days? Yeah, your feelings were involved in that. That was more than just my pride as a human being. What man will turn down unsolicited sex? Which is another thing. You got mad at him for basically treating him the way you kind of wanted to be treated. You said, I feel like I was treated like an object. But you did say you wanted a strictly sexual relationship with this guy. No strings attached, no emotions involved. You wanted to just have strictly sex with him, and that was it. So you plan on using him as an object too, sexual gratification. And that's what you wanted to be used for, sexual gratification. So if you felt like you were treated like an object, your whole goal from the beginning of this letter to the end of this letter was to treat him like an object too. Once you got to his house and you realized there was no sparks, y'all could have kept it friendship and that was it. But you decided with him to go ahead and do something sexual. Then after that was over, you decided, I still want to have sex with this guy continuously, even though I know I want no relationship with him. So what is that other than y'all are treating each other as objects? What is that? Now, on his end, I'm going to play a scenario. And I'm going to play a scenario. He texts you the next day. Hey, how you doing? You respond, I'm fine. Let's just say, this is for the sake of argument, this is just for basically some shits and giggles. Let's go down this avenue. Just walk with me down this path, and we'll see where we're getting to with that. Let's just say he is dealing with somebody else other than you. You did say he was in a relationship with a married woman. Let's say you're one of a list of people that he's dealing with. I mean, he met you online. You came over to his house. Blah 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 blah. Let's say you're one of a list of people that he's dealing with. Let's say he's got an actual girlfriend. He's texting you, checking on you, how you're doing. You respond back. His girl walks in, or his girl sees his phone. Because remember, keep in mind what you said in your letter. About a 24-hour period happened between the time you said, "Are you okay?" or asked how his day was going in return, that he responded to you with, "I'm still in love with my ex." Now, let's say that his girl, the person that he's dealing with, went through his phone, saw the messages, the correspondence between the two of you, gets pissed off and starts giving him the business about it. Now you're sitting there sending him texts. "Hey, what's going on? Are you all right?" He's trying to shoot they're not copy pasted. They're not copy pasted letters. He's texting them up fast. He's doing them fast because he's like, I gotta put out this fire. He's got fires going off all over the place. He's got the current girl that's now in his ass about, "Why are you texting this?" And then he's trying to. I'm telling you, as a person who's lived a life, he's texting you fast, like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm still in love with my ex. Hey, this was a big mistake." Blah 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 blah. He's telling you whatever he got to tell you to get you to leave him the hell alone. Leave me alone right now. I got this fire to deal with. I got you as a fire to deal with. I need you to leave me alone. I'm going to leave you alone. At the end of it, you say, "I wish we never met, and I hope we never meet again," and you get upset. That's scenario one. That's the long scenario. The other scenario is what he thought he was getting with you wasn't what he got with you. When you came over to the house and you were a little extra, you already said there was no sparks, which means either one of y'all disconnected early, because I find it odd that y'all were lovey-dovey, sharing little words to each other beforehand. Then as soon as he opens up the door, no sparks happen. Either his mood changed when he saw you, or your mood changed when you saw him, whatever the situation. Or it might have happened simultaneously. Both of y'all did it. But the mood changed. You still wanted to go forward with stuff. He didn't. You were still invested. He wasn't. So he was not being an inconsiderate jerk to you. He was just trying to put out a fire. He saw what he didn't like, I'm thinking, and he's like, "Okay, let me back off of this one. Let me back off of this." There's nothing wrong with you, sweetheart. Let me be clear on that too. Don't beat yourself up. You cried for 2 days. I don't think you should beat yourself up for that. Rejections happen. Rejections are a part of life. Rejections are a part of life. This guy here has been shot down a many time. A many damn time. And as what Wayne Gretzky once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So there's going to be somebody else that appreciates you for you, and deal with that. Be with that person. Let people know up front, "Hey, if I don't want no relationship. Relationships are too much of a headache. I want something strictly sexual." You will find a guy that's down for that. You will find a guy that was down for that. All men aren't down for that. All men don't want just a strictly sexual. Some people want to build a relationship. Some people want to do something extra. It's just that this particular man didn't want to do that particular thing with you. Nothing against you. You should not beat yourself up about that at all. But if you can't walk into this situation thinking, "I was being used, I was being treated as an object," without also checking the fact that you intended on using him as an object as well. I think that you'll find something better. Don't know you personally. I think you'll find something better. This world is full of horny guys, and you will find somebody who's willing to take you up on that offer that you're trying to lend out. And then when you're ready to settle down for a full-on relationship, that person that you want to have strictly sexual with might not want that full relationship. They might want to keep it the sexual thing. You might have to move to someone who's invested in a relationship. As always, family, thank you for watching. Am I full of crap? As always, tell me. Am I full of crap? Did I miss something in the translation here? Or am I spot on? You let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.